Castillo, and today I'm going to be giving my informative speech on the three most prevalent addictions worldwide, mostly in America, but still most of the world deals with all of these addictions. So around 3 billion people are addicted to nicotine, which is almost a third of the world, which is pretty insane numbers. And over 100 million people are alcoholics, which is not as much as, of course, nicotine, but it's still a very, very high number, especially considering most of those are in America or the Americas, right? Around 37.6% of the world population deals with some sort of substance abuse, whether it be marijuana use, nicotine use, or alcohol use, which are the three most prevalent addictions currently. And over 7 million Texas State students are addicted to something. And today I'm just going to be talking about those three things. But I think that I should be talking about this, about these addictions, not these addictions in specific, but definitely in terms of addiction, because I am in fact recovering from a few addictions myself, so I do know firsthand what it's like to be addicted to substances and why some people sort of use them as outlets to sort of escape the way they're feeling, sort of, just I'm gonna get into all of that, but I definitely do feel like I'm the right person to talk about addiction because I'm currently still struggling with a bunch of addictions. So let's get started. Around 13% of all college students smoke marijuana. Now, marijuana use is really prevalent, and maybe not as much as the other ones, but it's still really prevalent. And for it not even being legal in in a lot of the United States, it is still really, really prevalent, and a lot of people seem to think that you can't get addicted to marijuana, but that is in fact not true. You can definitely grow dependence towards it, and you can definitely start wanting to start making meals easier, start making meals more enjoyable, and then suddenly you can't sleep without it. You develop an addiction towards it because suddenly everyday tasks you cannot do or you cannot find enjoyment in them because you have been smoking so much marijuana. Now, marijuana itself is just a plant, right? It's THC that is getting you high and CBD that is making you relax and feel that nice little body high. And popular ways of smoking marijuana or ingesting marijuana would be edibles, any type of rolling it up into papers and smoking it. The most popular being smoking, and then I'm assuming the second most popular being edibles. Now that's a really prevalent addiction, but it still does not really come close to the other two, which in second place is binge drinking. So in Texas State specifically, around 33% of the population are alcoholics, or at least binge drinkers. So especially considering like a lot of the freshmen, they come from a place where they didn't really have a lot of freedom, and then all of a sudden they're just thrown in and they have all of this freedom and don't really know what to do with it, so they go to substances. And one of the most popular and most widely known, let's go party, it's to start drinking. So when you start drinking, you can drink in moderation, but a lot of these students start depending on it or start not wanting to do their work. Instead, they want to get drunk, and then it leads to them being hungover and stuff like that. Alcohol is just like, it contains ethanol and a fermentation of fruits or other sugary sources that act like a drug, and it interferes with the brain, making you less aware of your body movements and less aware of what you're really doing. It also slows your mind, so you're not really thinking at full capacity, which is why alcoholism is a very dangerous and serious addiction to have, because it can definitely impair your life, especially if, let's say, one day you're drinking and then you want to drive home, or you don't have a ride home. It's how to get into the car, and then it's just a really bad thing to get into. Now, the most prevalent, and assuming you're all waiting for this one, it's nicotine. So nicotine is the most prevalent. It's still very close to the amount of alcohol consumption that is in Texas State, but when we look at it in a worldwide scale, nicotine is definitely the most prevalent and the most absurdly high of people who have an addiction towards it and a dependence towards it. Around 33% or one third of the Texas state population has smoked nicotine at least once a month, which may not necessarily seem like an addiction, but that can definitely form an addiction. You start off with, okay, I'm only gonna hit it once, okay, I'm only gonna hit it once in a while, and then all of a sudden you're just fiending no matter what, and you are just waiting to get that fix. Now, nicotine is a stimulant drug, so while alcohol and marijuana are sort of downers. They sort of bring your mood down. They sort of relax you. They sort of get you moving. Nicotine is a stimulant, so that gets you like a nice little head rush, a little nicotine buzz, and its main ingredient is addictive tobacco. So tobacco is really tobacco is like the leaf, and the nicotine is what really gets you that buzz. And there are lots of ways to ingest nicotine, whether it be cigarettes, whether it be shisha, whether it be vapes, whether it be nicotine patches, nicotine gum, which are mostly for recovering nic addicts like myself. I'm trying to quit currently, and nicotine patches are definitely the way to go if you're trying to quit and not smoke, because it's not really good for your lungs. And it being so prevalent in freshmen, especially because new world, new experiences, it can definitely sort of mess them up, leave them with a nasty addiction which causes horrible withdrawals, and is just overall not a good thing. So overall, the three main addictions are alcohol, marijuana, and nicotine, but that doesn't stop other addictions from also being really prevalent and really necessary to talk about, such as self-harm. I know self-harm wasn't really up here, as well with pornography and all sorts of other outlets to sort of not really be all the way there, or just instant releases. But there is a lot of help out there. There is people who want to help. There is people who are willing to help. So if you guys are struggling with any of these addictions, please, I do recommend you try and quit as soon as possible. Just know that there is a lot of resources out there to help you. And yeah, that was my informative speech. Thank you very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed.